So Hazer is a technology company. We acquired the technology developed by the University of Western Australia, and it's a chemical engineering process to turn natural gas into hydrogen and graphite, high quality graphite. And we do that in a very cost effective way using natural iron ore as a catalyst for the process.
Hazer came about through research we conducted at UWA. Essentially, we were looking at methods of commercialising clean production of hydrogen.
Now, hydrogen is a key part of a clean energy system, because when you burn hydrogen, you don't release carbon dioxide. But the problem with existing hydrogen processes is that a significant amount of carbon dioxide gets released when the hydrogen gets made. So by taking this process where we actually don't release the CO2, we have a clean and cost-effective way of generating both hydrogen and also graphite, which is an extremely exciting commodity in the current market.
The underlying technology is a process called thermocatalytic methane decomposition, or more simply, methane cracking. Methane cracking is the splitting of natural gas into hydrogen and graphite using catalysts at elevated temperatures and pressure.
In steam methane reformation, the carbon content of the natural gas is being converted into carbon dioxide. This releases a significant amount of CO2 as well as the hydrogen being produced, effectively the same amount of carbon dioxide as if the gas had been burnt directly as a fuel. The Hazer process captures the carbon as valuable graphite rather than having it oxidised to carbon dioxide. The key difference in Hazer is the approach to the way we do the catalytic decomposition of methane. We're using a catalyst that's so cheap that once we don't need it anymore, we can effectively throw it away. People have tried to do this before, but have always had a catalyst that's so expensive that they need to recover it, and that creates a whole lot of economic problems for their processes down the track.
Once we started using off-spec iron ore, and we're talking about the stuff that the big iron ore companies use to pave the roads, once we started using that stuff and we got decent results, that's when we knew we were onto something big, because that in one hit we were able to alleviate both the issues with this technology.
It really solved a whole lot of problems at once. It's addressing some really large markets. The global market for hydrogen is in north of $100 billion a year, so it's a really important industrial chemical. Hydrogen is currently used primarily as an industrial chemical, mainly for the petroleum refining and ammonia production industries. There's also significant growth opportunities for clean hydrogen to be used in the energy market, both as a vehicle fuel and also for electricity generation.
The graphite that we produce is inherently high grade. It's got high crystallinity, it's got high purity, and so therefore the properties that invokes is very desirable in the market. There's a lot of research that's currently put into a lot of different types of morphologies that we produce that show it's very applicable to a lot of different industries.
So graphite can be used in a range of different applications, especially in batteries. So there's a lot of graphite in a lithium-ion battery, and that's coming into all of your electronic devices as well as electric cars. The other area that graphite's really got exciting applications is in supercapacitors, which is a great area where people are being able to use it to manage power generation and power peaks and troughs on a utility basis.
With iron ore, we can also modify the conditions such that we produce different types of carbon. So not only do we have a low-cost catalyst, but we've also got a large market for the graphite.
I'd like to see Hazer develop the process to a point where it's got its own plants up and running, and we're actually producing significant amounts of hydrogen and graphite to service the global markets. At that point, we'll have significant revenue streams, significant margins and profits being able to be developed by the business, and we'll also have the opportunity to license the technology to other users who would also like to take advantage of the process.
What's unique about our technology is that we can go beyond carbon neutral. We can go carbon negative, and that's just simply by choosing the source of methane. Instead of using natural gas, we can actually use biomethane, and by that we can actually indirectly store CO2 that was once in the atmosphere as stable forms of graphite.
The great opportunity for Hazer is that it's addressing real and existing markets. The global hydrogen market is $100 billion a year. That's a real market that's being done at the moment, and the products that we make go straight into those markets. We're not in a situation where we're creating a new product and then having to find a new market to use that product. The products that we make are used and are in demand at the moment, and so being able to service those markets is a very easy approach, a very easy thing for us to achieve.